busy entrepreneur, and maybe you're a husband or a wife or a parent, maybe still an employee, so your life is busy. In this video, I'm going to share 9 practical hacks to help you be more productive so that you can get more done in less time, so that you can feel less stretched and maybe even have a little bit more downtime. Okay, let's jump straight into these productivity hacks so that you can start saving some time right now. As entrepreneurs, there's a lot to learn, and it's really important to keep up with the things that are going on in your industry. So whether that's watching YouTube videos or trainings or podcasts or listening to audiobooks, you want to be able to make the most of that time. So here's a tip that you can use right now while watching this video. Okay, so what you want to do is go to the gear icon, which is somewhere down here, which will bring up your settings, and then you can choose which speed you want to listen to the video at. I think you can go up to 2 times the speed. Obviously, if you are doing it twice the speed, then you're going to halve the amount of time it takes to watch this video, as well as any other trainings that you are listening to. You can also use an app called Video Speed Controller, which is a Chrome extension, and this means you can change the speed of videos even when the settings option is not very obvious. So the other nice thing about it is that you can use keyboard shortcuts, which saves even more time. And the key is to remember when you are changing the speed of the videos is that you want to change it to a speed where you can still take in the information. So if you are speeding it up to twice the speed and you can't take everything in, then that's just going to be too fast and kind of useless. So maybe 1.5 times would be more appropriate. Or maybe you actually need to slow it down because somebody is talking too fast. So whichever speed is relevant for you for taking in the information, just go as high as you can so that you can save as much time as you can. If you are using the podcast app to listen to podcasts, then you can bring up the particular podcast that you're listening to, and in the bottom left corner, you will see the speed controller where you can determine what speed you want to listen to it at. Now, it's up to you how you want to use that time. You could obviously do twice the amount of training in the same amount of time that you were doing it before, or you could take that extra time to get some more things done or to even get some rest. Now, before I move on to the next hack, I also recommend taking the time to watch videos and listen to podcasts or audiobooks while you're doing something else, whether that's exercising, preparing meals, housework, laundry, going for a walk, whatever it is. I recommend doing it then because you can't do anything else productively with your work at that time. So you may as well take advantage of being able to listen to some really good training while you're doing those things. Speaking of preparing meals, this can really suck up a lot of time. So you may want to consider making a lot more food than you need so that you can use those extra portions and freeze it down for using up later on. So if you are doing a lot in the day and you're likely to feel exhausted, or if you just know that you're not going to have much time, you can pull out one of those freezer meals and you don't have to worry about cooking. And I have to admit, I really like those evenings. Another thing you can do also, depending on the type of lunches you have, is to prepare all your lunches on Sunday for the rest of the week so you don't have to do that during the week. And this can be really nice too. Just as it's worthwhile batching your meals, I also highly recommend batching your social media content because it can be really hard to come up with things on the fly, and it's a lot of pressure to come up with content every day. So I recommend taking an afternoon or a day or however long you need to curate all the social media you need for the following month and to get it scheduled. So that means you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the month. Obviously, that doesn't mean you can't be flexible and add new things throughout the month, but it means that you've got that consistency already built in. And it means that you can focus on building your audience and connecting with them during the month rather than trying to come up with content. You may be wondering why batching your content will actually save you time, because you're still doing the same amount of work, right? You're just doing it right at the beginning instead of throughout the month. Well, the reason is because you are context switching if you're doing it throughout the month. And if you are doing it all in one go, you are really focusing on that particular project and your mind is focused and you're able to be a lot more productive with that time. If you leave it during the week, then you've got other projects that you're working on, and then you've got to switch, I've got to do social media, and then you've got to switch back to your project, and all that context switching actually wastes time. So with this in mind, I would actually suggest preparing all your content in advance, not just your social media, but all the projects and everything that you want to accomplish in the month. And for this, I use Evernote to keep me organized. So I have this document called Command Central, and that pretty much rules my life in terms of everything that I want to accomplish is on here. So if I just scroll right to the bottom, this has my personal goals so that I can remember to do things for fun that I want to accomplish. And then I have my business goals, so I break those down into the big things that I want to accomplish that month. And then I use that as a basis for this section right here, which if I scroll to the top, is my goals for this month. So at the end of the month, I prepare for the following month and work out what I want to accomplish and write that down, break that down into some major goals for the week. And these get adjusted depending on how much I can get done in a week and how much needs to be moved to the next week and all that kind of thing. Obviously, priorities change. But that's pretty much my guide for the week. And then I leave those weeks that I've accomplished there so that I can just look back on that and remind myself that, yes, I've actually accomplished quite a lot this week, even if it doesn't feel like it because I have a toddler at home and it can sometimes feel like I'm not accomplishing as much as I want to. But then I can look back at my list here and think, okay, I've still done quite a lot. So that can be an encouragement to me. And then if I don't get something done, I just maybe I don't get this done this week, I can just move it to the following week if I need to. And then I use this as my basis for what's up here, which is basically my daily goals. So I have this area, which is my social media stuff, which I try and do every day, which doesn't always get done, but it's there. And then my main goals for the week are here, and then I can just break that down into my daily planner, if you like. So Mondays is pretty much my prepare social media, YouTube videos, newsletters, all that kind of thing is all on Monday. So I don't add any of these extra goals on Monday because I know I won't get it done. Tuesdays is now my day off so that I can take advantage of Sunday afternoons when my husband's home and I can get more focused work done. So I've now got Tuesdays off instead. And then Wednesday onwards, basically I can break it down to morning or afternoon and evening goals. So I can try and get maybe 2 major projects done in a day. It depends on the size of the project, whether I can get 1 project done or whether I can get multiple projects done. But this gives me an idea of how to organize myself. And basically, the reason I'm doing all this is because it helps me to know what my priorities are for the week and it'll help me focus on what's important and to make progress rather than doing a lot of things, random things, and then not really actually accomplishing as much. So maybe this will help you. You can use something similar to this. This has certainly helped me a lot in helping me know what to accomplish each week. Now, social media is one of those things that can suck up a lot of your time, and you may be surprised just how much time you spend on social media. I would encourage you to actually time it for a week and see how much of your week is spent on social media platforms. But even so, I would recommend just going on maybe twice a day, maybe sometime in the morning, sometime in the afternoon or evening, and just maybe setting an alarm to make sure that you are not spending too much time, because it's easy to get sucked down rabbit holes and find that a lot of our time is gone and we don't have the time to work on the projects that are actually going to make us the money. It's also a great idea to develop systems and processes for all the things that you do in your business and to write it down. And it's important to write it down because it helps you gain clarity and to help you refine the process. But also, more importantly, when it comes time to hire someone, it will be a much smoother transition. Now, I know that one of the things that we can struggle with is feeling like, why would we want somebody else to do it when we can do it better ourselves, or we can do it quicker ourselves? Well, this kind of moots that point, because if you've written everything down in the way that you do it, then you can just hand that over to somebody else and they will be able to follow those instructions and be able to accomplish it in the way that you want them to do it. And that's going to save you a lot of time and free up your time to be able to work on other things which will help you build your business or to even have some downtime. And as a little side note on hiring people, I would recommend hiring someone as soon as you can financially do so, because if they can take off your plate the housekeeping and housework and various things like that, or some of the easier repetitive tasks in your business, that's going to free up your time to work on the important things that's going to bring you money. Along the lines of systems and processes, I would also encourage you to use templates. I mean, if you've already done the work, why recreate the wheel, right? So if you have an email nurture sequence, for example, then you may as well use that email nurture sequence as a template for creating new ones. Or if you are doing YouTube, then maybe you have a YouTube thumbnail template or end card template. If you are doing Instagram quotes, that you have a template that you use, or even a video script. So for example, I have this template that I use to produce my YouTube videos, and it has reminders in it of the kind of content I might want to add, and then I just fill it out. And my last tip is for those who produce videos, and that is to keep your equipment set up at all times if possible. So if you can have a little studio space, then that will save you a lot of time from taking up equipment and taking it down again each time that you want to produce a video. And it gives you a bit more flexibility because everything is set up ready to go already, which means you can just sit down and deliver your content. Okay, so those are my 9 tips for you to run with, and I'm curious to know which tip you will implement right away. Let me know below. And also, if you know of any other busy entrepreneurs who could benefit from these tips, please share this video with them. And if you like this video, please hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos with all things related to creating online courses using video. Stay creative, and we will talk soon.